Letitia Pandey. I'm a photographer, creative art director, freelance model, and makeup artist. So here are a few images I have taken myself in the last month, and here are some modeling photos I have taken. So I have been a photographer, a creative art director, freelance model for 2 years now. And it's only been in recent times that I've started up in my makeup artistry. So I my background is art and design and media studies. From a young age, my family recognized my love for drawing. This was later explored in my final 2 years of secondary school during GCSE times, where I explored acrylic painting alongside media studies. I enjoyed learning about customers and creating products that were suitable for them, basing this basing this off their demographics and psychographics. After graduating secondary school, I moved on to college where I studied art and design. This was my strongest subject. And then after graduating college, I went to study fashion communication at Plymouth College of Arts, then transferred over to the university, Birmingham City University, where I studied fashion branded communication for my second year. So my brand, in terms of my brand, I have kept it very clean here on my photography page, very much commercial. I'm trying to branch into other areas. So, and then here we have my modeling page. That is not so much, it's not as active, but I do want to be building on that. And then we have my makeup page where I'm very colourful, vibrant. I love editorial looks and it's much more expressive. But yeah, so here I also keep everyone updated on my LinkedIn profile. Um, it speaks for itself. So here we have a post about me working on a client's portfolio. So we work every Monday on it, and so far, after 2 weeks, we managed to find a modelling agency that reached out to him that I had previously worked with. So I also do content creation on like YouTube and vlogs, etc., etc. So in terms of my job roles, I picked 5 job roles: film/video editor, stylist, advertising art director, model, and graphic designer. So, in terms of the film video editor, you're just assembling raw footage, managing script, screenplay, recordings, and having a logical sequence. Then with the styling, you're having accessories, working collaboratively with photographers, directors, producers across the board, advertising art director, so storyboards and thinking about your target audience, model, you're the muse for the photographer. The graphic designer is more like illustration based, using editing softwares, etc., etc. So these are the artists I picked. They were all amazing to interview. We are missing, however, the final person I interviewed from here, but this is Derek. I managed to um, actually go to one of his networking events. He is the owner of New Wave magazine with 20.6k followers. This is Karis. She is a freelance photographer. Malik is now verified on Instagram, and he's known for his AI. He's a great film director with Nigerian heritage. He even co-produced a series on Netflix um, based on African interior. And this is Latoya. She is a photographer, filmmaker, and producer. I found her on TikTok. And yes, the interview.
Where it is.
And so,
So
are you interviewing photographers or?
most of the people that I've interviewed are photographers. I would have liked to interview an art director as well, because I like
Okay.
direction as well, and a stylist. And I've got a model as well. So I'm just researching into different job roles. So I really like photography as well, but I would also want to get into creative art direction. But
Yeah.
I came across your page and I was like, I really like your work, so that's why
Okay.
I reached out.
Okay, thank you.
So how did you come about photography? Like how did it start? What got you into photography?
So I did a undergraduate, like a BA in fine art.
Yeah.
And for most of that, I was doing like printmaking, like screen prints, like wood carving, like proper old school techniques. And it's only like in my third year where I was doing screen printing, but I was using photography as I was using the camera to take pictures of things that I wanted to screen print.
Yeah.
And I found that actually, like when I had the screen prints and when I had the photographs were stronger by themselves.
Yeah.
But then that was like right at the end of my degree. It was literally like my final project. I was using the camera to do screen prints. Then I realized actually the photography is better. Yeah. And then so my final show, I showed just photographs and some other stuff as well. And then so as I left uni, I was very much like, oh, I like photography, but you know, I have no idea. And so I sort of I graduated like 2015, 16. And so I sort of just picked up the camera when I finished uni and just started taking pictures, really.
Yeah.
That's how it kind of started. It was very much me like just learning how to take pictures, like technically how cameras work and the exposure triangle and things like that. But in 2016, so when I graduated, as like a present, my dad took me to Jamaica.
Oh, okay. Are you from Jamaica?
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized actually after going through your page, but yeah.
And I'd never been before, so it's very much like, you know, I'm proud of you. You've done your degree. I'm gonna bring you to Jamaica. Yeah. And I went like with a camera, and it was very touristy though. Like there's lots of touristy pictures, but then I took some pictures of my family and stuff like that. And so I think around that time, like I graduated, I was interested in photography. I was learning photography. You know, I went to Jamaica, and I think around that time, like 2016, is when it sort of sparked my sort of interest in photography.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That sounds really interesting. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of your photography like captures real moments and like, especially in like black and white, like, and they really tell a story. What were your previous job roles? So was it just photography? Have you always been doing photography or? What are your?
Yeah, I've sort of always been doing photography, and even now I'm still figuring it out because I went on to do an MA in documentary photography and photojournalism.
Oh wow!
I graduated from that last year, December. So from like 2016 when I finished my BA, I had like about a 4 or 5 year gap, and then I started my MA in 2019. And I think the gap was very important because it gave me a chance to it gave me a chance to learn photography, be interested in it, but then it also gave me a chance to grow up and sort of know exactly what I want to do. So I think like that little gap in between was very important for me.
How I plan to reach my goals. So after talking to Latoya, Karis, Ryan, Derek, and Malik, I realized that everyone's working patterns were very much different. Karis was dyslexic and found that photography was the best way to communicate her ideas and express herself through this form of art. It came natural to her. Latoya is a freelance photographer and would usually have 3 to 7 shoots in 1 month and would edit her photos within 48 hours. whereas Ryan worked a retail job alongside photography. Derek is the owner of New Wave magazine and a creative art director. Malik, a film director with 2 companies. After all of this, I gathered all this information and found that I will be working towards becoming a creative art director, just like Derek, by working my way up to the title whilst focusing on my talent, which is photography, and mastering it. I would like to try out graphics, videography, sound, music production, and one day work on a larger scale like film. So here are a couple of quotes I just thought stood out to me after speaking to Latoya and Ryan. So Latoya says, as an artist, your style is always changing and evolving. So I also asked her a question about her own style, and she said she emphasizes on intense images that catch your eye to make people feel close to other people. I also asked her how many shoots do you take in a month, and she says it depends. A busy month is 7 to 8 shoots. There's no such thing as a set schedule as a photographer. And I also asked her, do brands come to you for your style, or do they come to you for their own style? And she said, for a fact, you're being reached out for your style. There's nothing else more. If anything, it can be a bit too much because they want to replicate your image. Then going on to Ryan, these are just quotes that he said. He had said he did an MA in documentary photography and photojournalism, which I found very interesting because he went to study a numerous amount of things before really settling to do photography, meaning he really cared about what he was learning and photography and the arts. So after all of that, I realised also the 5 companies I would like to work for were Zara, Bape, Universal Studios, BBC and Off-White. I would like to do some presenting within the BBC, with Zara, take content on their fashion catwalks. So with photography, creatively art direct Bape and Off-White for a campaign. With Universal Studios, just creatively art direct a movie. So this is what my calendar looks like. I didn't really have a clear perspective as I had deadlines. I was running behind deadlines, so I couldn't really give a proper insight to what I thought would be going on. I just kind of put my deadlines first. In conclusion, I'll definitely see myself as becoming a photographer and making it a full-time career. I love being able to create visions for my clients, as well as creating my own